Hey guys, welcome back. I need to adjust the clutch on the rollback truck, so I thought I would make a quick video about how to adjust the clutch on a truck. And in particular, I'm going to show you how to do it by yourself. Now, if you have someone to help you, that does definitely make the job a lot easier. But, when I worked as a mechanic in a busy shop, it's kind of hard to get somebody to help you, at the drop of a hat. So this is the way that we used to do it, and you should be able to do the whole job by yourself. So you need a couple of kind of special tools. So this thing right here is a remote start switch, and we're going to use that to bump the engine over so we can get the adjustment screw or whatever down to the bottom where we can use it. And then this tool right here is a special tool for adjusting the spacer clutches, and you don't see them as often, but you do run into them sometimes. And if you don't have this special tool, it's not that big of a deal. You can adjust those clutches using just like a screwdriver or a pry bar and a bolt. That's how I used to do it before I had this fancy tool. And then this is a 1/2 inch extension. We're just going to use that as a gauge to check the clearance on the clutch brake. And then this is a ratchet and a socket to adjust the actual adjusting screw in the clutch. And then this thing right here is a telescoping hood prop, and that's what we're going to use to hold down the clutch pedal, because you cannot adjust the clutch unless it's actually released. So if you don't have a telescoping hood prop, you can make your own custom tool using a material like this, and this stuff actually grows on trees around here. We're looking at the firewall of the truck, and this is actually the clutch linkage right here, and that's the biggest place where I see guys get in trouble when it comes to adjusting the clutch, is that they immediately go to the linkage and try to adjust the actual linkage, and that's almost always a bad idea. The clutch linkage is kind of like the front end alignment on your car. Unless something has worn out or been replaced, it should never change. So the only time that you need to actually adjust the linkage is if you're replacing the clutch, or if you have replaced some worn component of the linkage itself. So first things first, the ignition is off and the key is out. I usually just put it on the floor, and that way we are safe. If you want to lock it in your toolbox or whatever you have to do, just so nobody comes along and starts the thing while you're underneath or whatever. So this is the clutch pedal right here, and you see this one has essentially no free travel at all. So ideally we want like 1.5 inches of free travel in the pedal, 1.5 to 2 inches, kind of depends on how you like it. So that's 40 or 50 millimeters. So we need to adjust this clutch. I'm going to go ahead and set up my hood prop. So we'll just push the clutch pedal down, stick the prop in like so, and we're ready to go underneath. I'm just going to hook up my remote start switch real quick. Okay, that should do it. Let's give it a try. Perfect. Okay, we're looking up into the bell housing right now. There's an inspection cover here that I've already removed. So this is the clutch, the throwout bearing, and then the yoke right there. This is a pull type clutch, so it pulls the throwout bearing towards the rear. And this is our adjuster right here. So you see we've got to bar the engine over in order to get that down to where we can use it. So here we go. There we go. Perfect. See, it even says adjust right there on the pressure plate. So the keeper plate's removed, and now we can go ahead and adjust the actual adjuster. Now this is where everything can go smoothly or not. So we're in luck. I can already feel the clutch is adjusting very easily. So we'll just go a little ways. Like so. And then we'll go up top and check our free play. That's more like it. Okay, where were we? I got interrupted, so I got the clutch adjusted to where, you know, I'm happy with it, and I'm just checking the spacing between the throwout bearing and the clutch body. This is a 1/2 inch drive extension, so it looks like that's right on. Now, it's supposed to be also 1/2 inch back here between the throwout bearing and the clutch brake. This little disc right here is your clutch brake, but it's miles away. It's probably closer to 3/4 of an inch. So that means we're not going to have any clutch brake action, and it's going to be a pain to get this thing in and out of gear, or into gear from a stop. So that kind of sucks. I guess we're going to have to replace the clutch brake. So let's see. Come on, baby. There we go. So this is a one-piece clutch brake, and it actually spins with the input shaft for the transmission, and it squeezes between the throwout bearing and this input shaft bearing plate right here. And you know, typically when we install a new clutch, we'll use a one-piece clutch brake, and then we'll put a couple spacers behind it, because you don't know how much space you're going to have there. Or they do make different thicknesses of clutch brakes. So when you run into a situation like this, which is pretty common, where you adjust the clutch and you still don't have any clutch brake, there's a couple things you can do. You can take one of those spacers and cut kind of a pie shape out of it and slip it over the input shaft, and that'll get you by for a little while. Usually they'll come flying out of there eventually though. Or the other thing you can do is cut this clutch brake out entirely and then replace it with a two-piece clutch brake that's a different thickness, and that's what I'm going to do. So getting that clutch brake out of there is not a fun job. The only way I know to do it is to cut it out with a torch. And it's not too risky to do that. The seal for the input shaft is actually on the back side of this plate, so you're not going to burn up any seals. But you can see this one's actually pretty good, but a lot of times there's just tons and tons of grease caked in these things. So you need to be real careful about catching things on fire. And I don't think I'm going to be able to film that because this is the entire space that I have to work in. It's this inspection cover here. It's just enough room to fit my hand in. And I don't want to destroy my camera, but I'll give it a shot. this is the new clutch brake here, and it's a two-piece design, so it goes over the shaft, clamps together, and then this set screw or socket head cap screw holds everything together. And this one is 450 thousandths thick. I wanted a 1/2 inch thick, but they had this one in stock, so it'll be just fine. And the big thing to check is just the input shaft diameter. So this truck uses a 2-inch input shaft. Okay, there's the new one installed, and you see our gap is still good at the front, and now it's pretty good at the back. I kind of wish I would have gotten the 1/2 inch, but it should be just fine. This is what's left of the clutch brake after I removed it. Oh, so sorry, I couldn't really film in there. It's just too tight, and I actually screwed up my camera a little bit doing that anyway. So you can see, pretty simple. I cut the outer jacket in half and popped up pieces off there. And then I had to cut this inner ring in half. And you just go in with a real low flame and try to be as quick as you can, and don't get any grease on fire. You know, keep your water hose or your fire extinguisher close by, and you won't have any problems. And then the other thing that I will tell you, if you're going to do any kind of torch or welding work overhead, wear earplugs, because there's nothing worse than having a hot piece of metal roll into your ear. Anybody who's ever welded overhead and had that happen is cringing right now. So yeah, wear earplugs, you know, face shield, coat, all that stuff. I'm not Mr. Safety, but that's a painful experience. And this is the part number of the new clutch brake that I installed, in case anybody was interested. I bought it through Napa.
Okay, it works. Thanks for watching.